Right then, welcome to the next segment of our show. Now, in this segment, we have two models today. We have the Cruiser and the Zebra. Now, our two guests, Ryan and Gary, are going to be taking a look at the differences between the two models. So then, both of you are going to circle various different aspects that you find might be slightly different. Now, are you ready to do so?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Lovely. All right then, get to it. Right then, while they're getting on with that, I hope that all of you are doing quite well. I must warn you, it is a bit hot here, so if you do see some sweat, I do apologize. Right then, see what we've got so far. Okay, while they are working on the various aspects of the bikes, you can go to our site and you can take a look at the different models that you might prefer. Now, while the Zebra is a newer model, the Zebra can be best used for certain environments where Cruiser is actually more capable in others, as well as that, the price difference. So it's really up to you. As well as that, you can also check out different accessories on our Himiway site. Now then, let's see what we got. Oh, it appears we're done. Right then, let's take a look at the differences. So, Gary, let's start with you. Okay. What have you circled here? What can you tell us?
I've circled the rear rack. You can see the support is different.
Mm-hmm.
The Zebra is stronger. The seat, as you can see, is different.
Mm-hmm.
The Cruiser has mechanical brakes.
Lovely.
The battery is not encased, it's exposed.
I see.
The controller likewise is exposed. And also the headlight, I believe, is different than the Zebra.
All right. Thank you. Right, let's take a look over to Ryan. Ryan, can you tell us some of the differences that you've found? Seems like they're quite similar.
Yep, most of the same differences here. One thing I did circle differently is the frame. We have a different frame and a different design on this one.
True.
As he said, this battery is integrated, so it's inside. And
Very
we
good.
also have the brakes here. You can see the hydraulic brakes versus the mechanical brakes on the Cruiser.
Indeed so.
Look at the bike, like you said, with the lights. On the Zebra, we have 2 LEDs, and it looks like on the Cruiser, we have 4 LEDs.
Wonderful. Now, it seems that we have a couple of Himiway experts here. Right, very good. Well done, lads. Now, we're starting to get to the end of our stream here. So I just want to have a little bit more of a chat about lifestyle, generally. So I want to know a little bit more about what life was like pre-e-bike, just general day-to-day stuff. I want to start with Ryan. Ryan, can you tell me more about the life you had when you were younger? What were you doing? What was your family situation at the time?
So before I got married and had kids, like I said, very avid outdoorsman. Going hunting, rock climbing was very important to me, so I'd go out and do that often. Then you have wife and kids, and everything becomes focused on that.
Yeah.
So after marriage, we had our son. He's now 7 years old, and then my 2 twin daughters are 5 years old. So now it's a lot of work, school, and taking them to their events.
What do you like to usually do with your kids? Do you have like days out? What do you do on them?
Oh yeah, we have days out. We might go to different events around whatever the community is doing. Try to get out, and then school activities, of course.
What kind of activities?
Plays, maybe. Every year we have the plays. We play sports as well, trying to get them into those things.
Wonderful.
Rock climbing, not quite yet. I think too young.
Yeah, probably. Well, you can get like the indoor shopping centers. You can get with a harness.
Oh yeah.
I'm far too terrified for that myself. Heights. Gary, what can you tell me about your life?
Oh, I've as far as from a work aspect, I've been in the environmental business for more than 50 years, and I started right out of school, and eventually, I think I was around 25 when I got married the first time. Had my son. He's a little more than 40 now, so he's an adult with his own. I actually have a couple of grandkids. Couple of grandsons, which I try to visit as often as I can. We do live a fair distance apart, so
Are you still in the same state?
Yeah, we're in the same state, but it's, when you're several hundred miles, it's a little further, and I'm on the ride the e-bike. Naturally, probably 30 years, for the last 30 years of my business career, I travel around the world. I mean, I with the environmental business, you go where the pollution is, and I've traveled, probably to about 15 or 18 countries.
Wow.
I've had projects all, in virtually every continent. And during my various positions within the companies, I would go for extended periods of time, sometimes as much as 2 years.
Where would you say is your favorite place that you've worked in, country-wise?
I would say probably I spent quite a bit of time in Mexico back in the late 90s. We had several projects with vendors there, and I was actually on a circuit where I would travel about every 3 weeks. I would make a circuit around to different vendors, and then finally I just got to the point where I said, hey, cut the traveling, so I would just go there and, I rented a place and stayed there.
Lovely.
That was interesting. Again, I've been to, like I said, 15 or 18 countries, all over Asia, Europe, North and South America.
How do you feel about Asia generally? So a lot of our bikes are made in Asia, so I'm sure that you also see a lot of cyclists down there as well, and scooters and whatnot. Now, there's quite a lively culture of cycling in Asia, especially in places like China. Would you think that with e-bikes, we can start to see more of that general cycling culture, where you'll have like a good chunk of the population just replacing cars with bikes?
Oh yeah, especially now with, if you look at the news everywhere in the world, you have I'll call it the green movement, where people, are wanting to move away from the gasoline and diesel motors and into the electric motors. You see a lot more electric cars around. The e-bike fits, especially for, like in my situation where I'm traveling a short distance, and I no longer have to worry about going back and forth to work. So, if for example, it's bad weather, I don't need to, I just stay home that particular day. And the e-bike, for my distances, inside of 10 miles or 15 miles one way it's perfect for transportation. And it's excellent for exercise, so for my lifestyle, it fits. And I really don't want to invest in an e-car.
Aye. Why not?
Why should I invest my life savings in buying an e-car? But, I've got a gasoline car that's going to last quite a few years. In fact, it's going to last a lot longer now that I use the e-bike.
Do you feel like regular diesel cars are just generally more reliable than e-cars?
Well, it depends on, again, on the make and model and your location in the world. If you buy a cheap car, it's going to break down. You buy a cheap bike, it's going to break down. So what you look for, like in the Himiway, I looked at the quality of the bike, and it looked to me like to be one of the top on the market, so I chose it. But back to the cars, I really, again, I'm an environmentalist, and I have been my entire life, but I do not think that electric cars are the solution to reducing the CO2 that they're looking for. Because, first of all, there are too many cars in the world. If you tally it up, there are, 100 million more. And the other thing that you have to look at, the one factor that you don't see considered is, with the population of the world expanding, it's projected to grow to 9 billion. Again, this is my own personal opinion. We're going to need every source of energy that we can get to sustain that population.
And you think e-bikes could contribute to a positive future?
Oh, absolutely. You know what I mean? as more and more people take, purchase the e-bikes and it starts to take hold, you'll see it grow. And it's great for, like I say, even, especially in larger cities, where most people are only traveling, probably less than 10 miles to work or maybe, in that range. It's great. E-bike, I can park that pretty much anywhere. But if I take a car, I've got to, sometimes when I go to the city, when I take the car in, depending on where the parking, how the parking is, I can drive around for an hour looking for a parking spot. And, with the e-bike, in that hour, I can already do my shopping, or I can be at the restaurant, have breakfast, and be on the way home.
And do not pay for parking.
Yeah, and I don't have to pay for the parking either.
It can get quite extreme in certain areas. Right then, I just want to say that it's been an absolute pleasure having both of you on, and it's been really great to hear the feelings of fellow Himi riders, especially in such a time where we have so much change, especially a lot more emphasis on the environment, to see people that do care as passionately as you guys do in your respective lives. So it's absolutely wonderful to see. So I just want to thank you for talking to us about your views on its impact, your views on its impact on your own lives, and discussing quite objectively the feelings that people have as cyclists and e-bikers. Now, both of you made a really good point of we're all going to have different ways that we might want to protect the environment or just get healthy. But like you said, it's to each their own and to do what's right for you. What with your leg and you needing the help and just needing to get away from the family. So it's been an absolute pleasure having you guys on. So I'd like to thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Very, very welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
And I'd like to thank the viewers at home for watching. Now, I know that this was a long one, but we had a lot to talk about. So we talked about the economic impact in your own lives. We've talked about the environment and how we can help reduce our CO2 emissions and carbon footprint. We've been able to look at our guests' lives and how it's affected them, what with increased recreation and increased ability. Now, as well as this, we can go through all the different models that we've seen, and we've also been able to take a look at what other people have thought online. So thank you very much for watching our stream, and we hope to see you next time. Right, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wanna hear me way back? You go further every time, man, with a battery that lasts longer than any other kind. Oh, you can put it to the test, go wherever your heart desires. You go further every time, you go further every time.